going to spend a few minutes learning about Gary Soto. He's the author who wrote 7th Grade, the story we've read this week. And he also wrote the poem Oranges that we're going to read today and compare his poem Oranges to 7th grade. So this is the website GarySoto.com. And this is his front page. It's a pretty cool quote by Gary Soto. We're going to spot bright people. They are reading a book. What book are you reading? On his website, what I noticed, though, is it doesn't tell us a lot about him. Here, this is the About section on his website, and it's pretty short. It tells us he was born and raised in Fresno, California. Fresno, California, that would be the setting of story 7th grade, where Victor went to school, which would make sense. Gary Soto wrote stories based or located where he was familiar with. But I wanted to learn more about Gary Soto, so I pulled up a scholastic biography of him. So he talks here, I was born and raised in Fresno, California, and grew up in the barrio, which is a Spanish word for neighborhood. I go to another website of a biography of his. It talks about that he grew up in one of the many barrios, that it was a poor community or poor neighborhood of Fresno, California that he lived in. Down here you can see, so he was born on April 12, 1952, second child of Manuel and Angie Soto. The family lived in Fresno, California, and like many Mexican Americans, Soto's parents and grandparents worked as laborers in the surrounding San Joaquin Valley, the agricultural center of the state. So typical jobs included picking oranges, cotton, and grapes for very little pay, or working in the often dangerous packing houses of local businesses, such as the Sun-Maid Raisin Company. And then we find out that when Soto was just 5 years old, his father was killed in an accident while working at Sun-Maid. And because of that, then, the family moved to a rough neighborhood in an industrial area of Fresno. And to make ends meet, Angie Soto, his mom, and the children's grandparents took what jobs they could find. And as Gary and his siblings grew older, they too worked in the fields and factories of Fresno. In 7th grade, Victor talks about working in the grape fields during the summer to raise money, to earn money, so you can buy clothes for school, so you can impress Teresa. I don't know if you continue reading on, you're going to see that Soto maintained a D average when he was in high school, because notice what he did, what he spent more time doing than his homework. Okay. On the GarySotos.com, one thing I found interesting, kind of neat, is when he was asked, so when did you start writing? He didn't start writing until he was about 20, a student at Fresno City College. He says, I liked a young woman on campus. It so happened, however, that she didn't think much of me. In fact, she told me as much. So to repair my broken heart, I climbed the steps of our library and found myself in the poetry section. Youthful me, I believed that poetry repaired my heart, and it did. So it's kind of neat. I feel like there's this romance aspect of 7th grade. And we're going to find there's a romance aspect of his story or his poem Oranges, but it also is part of him becoming a writer. As far as, let's see, GarySoto.com, his website, just to see some pictures. So when he was young, I guess growing up, he's now married. I think it says, let's find out, I think he's married and still lives in California. We shall find. Not on this one. Berkeley. It says current city here is Berkeley, which would be in California. It's on his website. You can see all of the books he's written. And he has a variety. He tends to like to write for kids, young adults. So he has a couple of picture books, and then he has quite a few short story anthologies, some poetry books, and then a few novels. If you're interested, let me know. I know I have this one. I think I have Taking Sides. And if you're interested in any other ones, let me know, because I can always order them for you. Okay, I think that is all we need to know about Gary Soto. We'll move on to Oranges, the poem.